Welcome back to the Pathway to Purpose. So excited about our guest today. It is Santana Simons. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So just to keep it with the same flow with the rest of them, can you tell us about a time that you said yes to God?
How many times have I said yes to God? Just want to talk about a time last year, 2020. I just started Ford City, and I was asked to do a city group. And I remember telling the father that I couldn't do it because I felt like I was Moses. I felt like my words was going to bunch up. Like, who, me? Like, I'm no one's leader. Like, I don't really like talking in front of a crowd. Like, I get nervous. My hands start sweating. But God said, would you trust me? Would you trust me? If you tell me yes, will you trust me that I will hold your hand and I will guide you through this whole process? So when I told God yes, immediately he started opening up doors for me to speak. The one area that I wasn't confident in. I was not confident in speaking. So he started opening up so many doors because I told him yes. All these different opportunities for me to speak started happening. So I'm like, okay, Lord, well, because I told you yes and you helped me throughout that season, I know that you will continue. Then he told me to do a mentorship for girls. He told me this years ago, but because of fear, I allowed for fear to creep in. I said, no, God, like I can't do it. Like who, me? No, absolutely not. So he brought it back up again last year, 2020. He said, it's your time now. Will you do it? Will you still trust me? So I said yes. And I launched I Am Enough because God said so on February the 13th. So yeah.
That's good stuff. That is awesome. Like I love how when we finally start to move in what he tells us to to do, he will download us with as much resource as we need. Well, it's already in us, right?
Yeah.
It's in us, but we don't feel like it is there. So
Yeah.
what type of things has he just reminded you that like this is what you are supposed to do? What are some ways where he has showed you like this is it?
Well, it goes back to praying.
Yeah.
That's another thing that he always spoke to me that you are a prayer warrior, but because I really didn't believe it within myself that I can do it, he had to keep reminding me like, Santana, realize who you are, realize where I'm calling you to, realize that you are chosen, you are fit for this. So even now I still have a hard time, like, Lord, like, I don't know if I was supposed to be praying. Like, are you sure? Like, I continue to ask the Father that, but he keeps telling me, like, Santana, my daughter, realize who you are. Realize that you can do it. Realize that you have the greater one on the inside of you. So, like speaking, it's always opportunities where someone needs prayer. And it's like, Santana, can you do it? And it's like the Father is really testing me. Like, my daughter, I told you that I wanted you to start praying more. And now I have all these different opportunities. Like, okay, but I would dare not tell the Father. I would dare not tell no one, no other Father now.
Come on. That is so good. What did you think that it was going to look like after you said yes? Especially because you mentioned I am enough God said so. What did you think that was going to look like versus what it looks like in the moment?
Honestly, I didn't know. Like, I really didn't know what it was gonna look like. I was just a daughter trusting God, to be honest. I was just trusting him that, what he wanted it to look like versus what I wanted it to look like. Because I had absolutely no idea. I just completely just gave it over to him.
Yeah, so good. What is with the girls that you have in your group, like what are some things that y'all do to just reassure them to follow Christ versus following society?
That's good stuff. I have girls ages 10 to 17. So our main focus is knowing that I am enough. So I have this book that I provided to them called Lies Young Women Believe. And it basically just talk about the lies from Satan, the lies that he tells us that we're not enough, that we're not worthy, that we aren't beautiful, that because of our skin tone, like we're not fit, we can't fit in, like different things, like different lies that the enemy plants in our head. So that's one of the things that we started off, just realizing the lie and then realizing the truth.
Mm, that is so good because God tells us that we are what we like. He has specific affirmations for us, and
Yeah.
when you can listen to his voice and not get caught up in your own, that back and forth push of can I do something,
Right.
and I believe that capturing it, that's why I love what you do, because capturing that when a woman is young, or even a man, it'll really define what they do later.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I agree. So
so
it's
good.
all about reassuring them. And then also having people around you. That's why I have a group of young ladies so that they can start encouraging each other. They even started their own little group chat and they speak life into each other on a weekly basis. And I love it because I just put it out there for them to do it and they did it, and to know like where they're at right now, speaking life and encouraging, supporting. Like anytime they feel like they can't talk to their parents, they have their sisters. When they don't want to come
Mm.
to me, they have their sisters. So it's all about your circle and who you're connected to.
That's good. That's awesome. Was it easy for them to get that relationship going, or was there kind of some slow working toward it?
I wouldn't say that it was easy or slow. I would say that it was more so in the middle because you have some young ladies that's a little shy, like myself,
Yeah.
and then you have some that's more so of talkative. So it's like getting the ones that shy out of their shell, like letting them know that, listen, this is your secret place, and you can trust me. Trust that anything that we say in this group will not go out of our conversation, like out of our circle. So it's all
Mm.
about the trust thing. So once they was able to say, okay, well, I can trust her. Like I know that she won't spread my business. I know that she'll be there. So now I can come out of my comfort zone.
That's good. And having that different person to do that versus other people that they see at a school that will probably just push them down,
Right.
but then they can take what they're learning with you and then pass it on to a them.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I know that you have them active on like TikTok and stuff, putting out videos for the whole world to to see. So that's
Mhm.
pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. So I wanted to make it fun. So I wanted to, like each time we meet, we'll do a game. They'll share a TikTok video or different things like that, just to get them loosened up in the beginning, and then now we can go and start digging.
Yeah, and it's crazy because TikTok is one of my favorite apps. It's
Really?
yeah, I love it. It's you wouldn't think it, but I love how it's a platform that was really meant for something else. But now I can scroll through and just see all these Christian TikTokers just affecting change,
Yeah.
and you don't know what you're going to post that'll affect one person, and
Right.
that's pretty much all that'll matter, is that one, right?
Yep. That one. If you can just get that one.
That's
That's what that's kind of like what I was telling the father before, doing this program, because I was that girl that needed someone to talk to. And because I didn't have it, I felt like, well, God, this would be a space if they feel like they can't talk to their friends or their parents or their teachers, I can be the one.
yeah.
If I can help them and pull them out of depression, stop them from having suicidal thoughts, like I'll be the one. I say yes all day long because
Mm,
I knew that that's something that I wanted. But thank God for God because I had him. You know.
that is so good. So how else has he stretched you? I know you said you started going to Forward City last year.
Yeah.
Um, he's telling you to speak more. You started this amazing ministry. What else has he used through I guess through taking that step to go to Forward City, and
Right.
how has Pastor Travis really just ministered to you?
Well, I thank God for Pastor Travis, but it was more so PJ, Pastor Jackie.
Come on now.
Like that lady there, like she has been everything that I prayed for. And I'll just give you a little background. In 2019, I left my church where I was at for 7 years. And I started going to Ford City. But before I went to Ford City, I visited and they had like a dig deep. This is a Bible study that Pastor Jackie do once a month. And from the very beginning, it's like our spirits connected. I really didn't even know what it was. But after the dig deep, PJ came to me and she said, you was really heavy on me. Like you really was pulling on me. And I was like, okay, Lord. So when I started going, I was like, before I started going, I told the Father that I wanted pastors that was just for me. Like I wanted pastors after your own heart, Lord. Like I want pastors that can speak into me, that can tell me where I need work in. And PJ has been that. Like she has been my prayer warrior. She has been my encourager. Like she don't just tell us what we want to hear, but she tell us what the Father is telling us that we need to hear that can help us. Like she pushing us to pray, pushing us to open up our mouths, pushing us to free other women, because she feels as though if we are free, we're experiencing that freedom, then we can go out and free other women. She says, free people, free people. So I felt like I'm walking in my freedom, and she helped me get there because of her words, because of her digging into the Bible. And not just reading the Bible, but you got to read it. Now, that's something that PT always say. You can't just read the Bible. You got to read it, and read it to understand it. And if you don't understand a thing, you can always ask the Father, and he will begin to give you wisdom and knowledge so that you can understand it. So, yeah.
That is so good. I love how conversations just come at the correct time, because
Right.
I'm dealing with reading the Bible and not just getting surface level stuff. Like, Lord, I know that I can read something and I'm like, oh, I got that.
Right.
But there's so much more in it. And I've been praying more about that. Lord, just give me more than surface stuff. I want to dig deeper. I want to get more of you. And ultimately, I just don't want to miss anything. I want to take it and implement it into my life fully, and not just halfway. So what do you do? Is there like a daily routine that you have to make sure that you stay up with God?
Yeah. Before I read, I always pray, and I ask God to show me, like, for things I don't understand. Because sometimes when you read the Bible, like, you really don't. For me personally, I really don't understand some stuff that I read. So I ask God, like, to show me before I even open up the book or open up my app. Lord, show me. Like, give me a new revelation, because I can read a thing one time and I read again. I'm like, oh, Lord, this is something different right here.
Yeah.
So on a daily basis, I do 9 o'clock devos with the Father. And just recently, I was sharing one of the pastors at the church. I changed my devo to a date, because when you think about a date, it's something that you look forward to. You're going on a date with your spouse or going out with your friends, like you look forward to that. So instead of it being like a checkoff list for me, I was like, Lord, I don't want to turn this into a date. So I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to spending time with you, so that it can be something for both me and you. You can pour into me, I can get it. And yeah.
That is so good. Like, it's a different perspective on your relationship with God, because there's that level of getting to be intimate with him, which is a weird word for people to, like God and intimacy. Like, that doesn't really make any sense, but
Right.
but it does. And even with him being our Father, we should look at him like our Father. He takes care of us. He loves us unconditionally, and he gives us everything that we need. And I love it because, just like a father, he knows what's going to happen later on in life,
Yeah.
but he doesn't give us everything. He gives us exactly what we need in that moment, because our minds can't handle it. And honestly, if he told us what was going to happen later, I couldn't do it. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Let's not.
Right.
The ending looks great, but the work to get to it,
The
like,
process.
come on. That's like, I'm sure for you, he's built you up to a certain place. And there's all these things that you had to go to so that you could have that specific testimony to give to the people that you talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. I shared my testimony last year in December. I went through a really dark place. And like you said, if God would have told me, daughter, this is what your story looks like, I'm like, okay, God, we're going to have to skip that part, because I don't want to go through it. Like, I really wouldn't wish it on no one, but I thank God for it. I think, because now I'm able to testify and say, this is what I went through. I struggle with depression. I went through anxiety, suicidal thoughts, but God brought me through it. I had to trust him. I was even in a place where I couldn't pray. And when you get to a place where you can't pray, something is up. But that goes to like knowing who you are connected to. If you're connected to someone that's not connected to the Father, like I found myself going through the things that they went through. So when I got to a place where I'm like, Lord, all right, it's just me and you. I'm about to go in. I'm gonna go into prayer, and this right here has to loose me. I have to disconnect myself from it so I can be free and really walk in what you want me to walk in, and really be able to feel the presence of God. Because when you can't feel the presence of God, something is wrong. So yeah, disconnect to reconnect to the Father.
That's good. That's good. Can we talk more about and just like when you have somebody in your life who is not healthy, because it's difficult, especially if it's somebody that you love and not just somebody who is there, somebody that you love, that you just know that like this is a relationship that is affecting me more than I am affecting them, right? Like how do you deal with that and dealing with the possibility of maybe having to cut them off completely?
Well, let's talk about now. Just recently, last week, I had to disconnect myself from someone that I absolutely love, a friend, and I didn't want to do it, but the Father, he told me that I needed to disconnect because where I'm going, everyone cannot go.
Yeah.
So if I feel like if you're not pulling me towards the Father and you pulling me from it, and you may not even know it, but if you can't pull me towards the Father, then I have to disconnect, no matter if it's going to hurt or not, because I don't want to be connected to someone, anyone, whether it's family or friends, and they're not pulling me towards the Father, because my future is got God name all over it. And I'm going to need your walk to be the same. Like, I know that our family, some of our families and our friends may not have the same walk, may not be on the same pathway as we are, but we have to get into a place where we allow the Father to show us how to disconnect, because it's not easy. And it definitely wasn't easy to me, because you're talking about someone that you really truly love. Like, you love your friends. All my friendship, I'm saying, like, this is a marriage. Like, we to death do us part. So it kind of hurt when you have to disconnect yourself from a person that you've been connected to for so long.
Yeah.
So I would say, if anyone that's dealing with that, wanted to disconnect, just ask the Father to show you how to do it, because he will show you. It may hurt, it may seem, but it's only working for our good. Like, you don't want to be dragging along with someone that is not trying. I can see if you have someone in your life that's trying, but if you're not trying, then I really don't know. Like, how can we help each other?
Yeah.
Like, we can't help each other grow. Like, if you don't want to grow with me or for yourself, like, I don't know.
Yeah, because people are so stuck in a don't try to change me type mood. But ultimately, I mean, we're human. There's always room to grow, and we should be growing in God, like you said, over and over and over. Just seek Him, and then He will give you everything that you need. But you could be trying to grow, and you're not seeking God. So if I'm one person who is trying to grow, seeking Him, and you're trying to grow, seeking something completely different, we're not going we're not going to a match, like, at all. It's not happening. As much as you try, it's just not gonna happen.
No. That's true. That's good stuff. I recently posted something God downloaded me. He said that the disconnection is necessary. Just like your growth is necessary, the disconnection is necessary as well. Yeah.
That is so good.
Just like our yes, it goes back to what you said. Our yes is necessary too. So would you say yes to disconnect? Would you say yes to grow? Like, it's all working together.
That's right. If He told you to do it, there's a actual reason, and you will see that you will see it later. Is there a time where you felt God telling you to do something and you said no to it? Can you tell us about that?
It's been plenty of times, just to think about a time that I told the Father no. Lord, what have I? Let's see. Okay, let's go back to city groups.
Yeah.
Each quarter we do city groups, and the last quarter, I told the Father no, that I wouldn't do it, because I felt like I needed rest. But in reality, I really didn't even know what rest looked like. But I said, Lord, I'm tired. Like, this thing is really some work. Like, you can't just be a leader just giving the people anything. Like, you really have to stay before the Lord. You got to pray. Like, you got to plan. Like, all these different, you have all these souls that I think, because, you're responsible for them. You giving them the word, So I told God no. And I used the excuse that, I'm tired, Lord. I need rest. I need to rest this season. And he really did beat me up about that, because I thought that he was saying, okay, daughter, you can do it. But no, he's saying, like, if you're going to tell me yes, that you will do a thing, like, I'm going to need you to follow through. I'm going to need you to continue to be consistent, because you expect me to be consistent to you, but you telling me no. And these people need you. And it was so many people in our last group that was looking forward to me and my good friend Bianca to lead. But because I felt like, well, I'm just gonna tell you, no, Lord, I need to rest. I'm taking off this season. And it's really telling God, later for you, later for your work, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But yeah, I won't tell him no more though.
Oh, that's crazy. It's like I have my own agenda. I like what you said. I want you to do I want you to I want you to do something for me, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do the same effort, and that's dangerous. So
it really is,
because he'll turn around and he'll not give you the same effort. He sure will.
That's true.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So what would you say to that person who feels like they don't have purpose in anything, let alone in Christ, but they just feel like life is just purposeless?
Well, first I would say that is a lie from Satan himself.
That's right.
It's a lie. Do not believe the lies of the enemy. I feel like God called each and every one of us, no matter what your purpose may be. It may not look like mine, it may not look like Sidney's, but God called us to do a thing, and he will fulfill his purpose in your life. Like, there is purpose in everybody. And don't believe that because you feel like with me or with Sidney, that we don't talk right, or that you can't do it. Like, you're not a pastor. Like, God didn't call you to do that. He wrote your story out before you was even born. Like, he had it already written out when you was in your mother's womb. So you have purpose. You have to believe it. Just don't believe the lies. When the enemy starts telling you a certain thing, you tell them, no, God said that I can do all things through Christ. God already wrote out my story. God knows my beginning and my end.
That is so good. And speak it out. Like you said. Speak it out. Speak to the devil and throw down lies like it's nothing. Like, no, that's not happening. So
and hit him with the word, because the word is the truth.
That's right.
That's one thing that the enemy, he's so afraid of us walking in our true purpose. So if he can ever get us in a place where we start to feel like, I don't have no purpose, like, no, devil, you are a liar. God said I have purpose. Like, no, I will not believe anything that you say, because you don't want me to really walk in what God told me to walk in. You don't want me to fulfill the purpose that the Father had before me. Like, you want me to shut my mouth. If I was to open up my mouth, because God give each and every one of us power once we accept God as our Lord and Savior, and we receive the Holy Spirit, like, oh, that's another thing right there. Like, you want me to shut up. You want me to be quiet. You want me to not free these people.
Yeah, there's so many people waiting for you to make that step so that they can actually get, so that they can actually get free as well. So
many people attached to our yes.
Yeah. So
beginning, it's so many people attached to our yes. Like, are we willing to do it? Like, will we trust God?
So good. So what's next for you? What are you what are your plans for the future?
Well, I try to set like short-term goals and long-term goals for me. So what's next? This year I am planning a mother-daughter conference in August. I have my mentees and I'll bring on some of my permission room sisters. That will be in August. And then I'm just open and willing to do whatever the Father wants me to do. So whatever he have next for me, I'll say yes.
Yeah, that's good. I love not only raising up the kids, but also bringing their parents into it, because it's important for parents to look at their children and be able to notice what gifts they have so that they can use those for a God. And I think that's difficult for some parents. I'm not I don't have any kids, but I believe that it can be difficult, when you want your kids to be very successful, but you don't know exactly how to get it out of them, especially
Right.
if your parents did their best, but they didn't see your actual gift. So how do you deal with that? How do parents cultivate the gift that their kids have when they're young, so they can grow up and actually use it for God?
Okay, so with me being a mother of my 9-year-old daughter, like I'm starting to build a foundation, like doing mother-daughter devos with her, spending time in the Word, and just making it fun. Like at a certain age, with her being 9 years old, like I want to make it fun. So we have different things we do, like plays, we worship together, like we have competitions, like different things like that, like just to include God in it. And just recently signed her up for a mentorship that's centered around God. So I just want to make sure that I'm building that foundation in my daughter, so that when she do start to grow up and really have a personal relationship with God as she get older, like I've already built that foundation, so she know.
That is so good. Raise a kid in the way that they are supposed to go. So good. I love it. Love it so much. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I would just say that remember that your yes is necessary. Like, know that your yes is connected and attached to so many things that the Father want to do. So, if you're ever in a place where you feel that you are fearful, just give it to God, because there's no fear in God. And just say yes, because you just don't know how many people are waiting on you to actually step out and do what God told you to do. Your
Yeah,
yes is necessary.
that is so good. Thank you so much for coming on and just spreading
Lord,
your wisdom with us. It means a lot to
anytime.
me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Pathway to Purpose podcast. Being able to create a platform for someone to tell their story, and also a place for someone to hear it, is extremely important to me. I hope you heard something that helps you grow and something that you can pass on to somebody else. Stay tuned for the next episode, and check out the Pathway to Purpose Instagram and Facebook to see inspirational quotes to help you on your journey. I also want to give a big shout out to my whole team at Scott Young Media Group for making this podcast possible. Be blessed, everyone.